Today we are learning how to mod Skyrim Anniversary Edition and pretty much create the perfect game. Oh, this is very unprofessional of me. I'm sorry. Give me a second. That is much better. And in this video, actually let me do this to help you visualize it. Alright, this should be much better. So let me do this. Let's put this over here. And we have Moises here. Let's put him here over the top. I want you to imagine this barren wasteland. It's pretty much the foundation. So we have to prepare them and fertilize them as much as we can. And then you have Moises here, which is you. With the tools you have, you're going to use all of those, including the foundations you are stepping to pretty much create anything you want. You are the founder here. You are the mastercraft. You are the person behind the matrix. I've been modding Skyrim for the past many years, and especially the past months. So if you want to see more of those kind of videos, you can subscribe. I'm gonna actually put time and effort to actually make those. So the tools we're going to talk about here, Mod Organizer and Vortex. I mean, I always forget how the fuck this is called. The very foundations we're going to talk about is how to use and how to pretty much step up your mod organizer of your choice and which one you should pick and which one I'm using and things like that. By the way, we are modding Anniversary Edition. I'm going to explain why Anniversary Edition over Special Edition. And if you have no idea what the difference is, that's for the best. We're also going to talk about the most important tools I am using myself. So we have on Moises, the things he carries. We have loot. One of the tools you're gonna use, that's pretty much your weapons, your tools to craft whatever you want to craft. So the third tool is going to be ZEdit. And then we're having the minor tools. Our minor tools are going to be Elephant Latency Text by Kratos. Who the fuck is having their dogs out barking at this time of the day? It's like 12 PM. We're also gonna speak about BethINI files as the second one. Third one, it's actually .NetScript Framework. And now, all of those tools I'm going to use and talk to you about, it's not like all of the tools, it is what I'm using myself 80% of the time to do pretty much most of the work. Kavou, why would I want to mod Skyrim? Let me put myself here, and that's me. Looking at you, actually, can we do this? There we go. That is so much better. Look at this. That's so much mag. This is me looking at you and analyzing them one by one, opening the tools. So I'm gonna pretty much talk today about how you can essentially mod Skyrim Anniversary Edition, optimize it, run it with 1,000+ mods, have it completely smooth, which means no crashes, no randomness, understanding how to mod it, how it works. And in case you are new to modding, I think this is going to help you a lot as well. So the idea is that I'm playing Skyrim right now. I'm having 980 something mods in my Anniversary Edition. And again, I will speak about why Anniversary Edition versus Special Edition before you slap in my face. Before you can give me time, at least I can tell you the reason why I'm doing this. Given how much I know about modding and how much I've done modding when it comes to Skyrim for the past 10+ years, I think that was a video that I wanted to make for a very long time. So again, you can subscribe, you can like, stay for more if you want those kind of videos. If it's completely boring and let's say the video doesn't do any well at all, I'm never touching Skyrim ever again. But I thought I might as well give it a try. Now, when you hear about, let me see, I'm actually recording this. Okay, thank God I am. Let me ask you something. What is the first thing you're thinking or crosses your mind when you think about Skyrim or modding Skyrim? Probably something like this.
No, I'm not doing that.
Or this.
Thanks for coming.
Or this. And I'm pretty much going to tell you that it is not as complicated as you think. It just takes a lot of time and, of course, discipline when it comes to modding. And we'll speak about that. So let's go on the first part of the video. And we're going to talk about the mod manager of your choice. There we go. This is the mod organizer of my choice. And you might ask me, Kavou, are you fucking crazy? Are you nuts? Are you on drugs? What's wrong with you? Why are you using Vortex? And that is a very good question. I believe only if you're someone, again, who is having over 10 years of modding experience in Skyrim and can actually manage to mod a game completely or very close to perfection without any crashes. Have in mind, I'm having 900 plus mods, I'm getting one crash every 23 hours, and that's because of something completely random, and I'm going to talk about crashes and all of that. Unless you're in the top 0.1% of losers who pretty much spend so much time modding this game like me, you shouldn't use Vortex. You should only use Vortex if you are new when it comes to modding and you don't mind learning, or you're someone as expert as it is. I would recommend you to use Mod Organizer, but I don't want to use Mod Organizer because it is much more boring, it takes so much more time, and when you know pretty much every single mod out there, every single author, every single update that's coming, it kinda comes to the point that you already don't really need to use Mod Organizer if you know the ways. But if you don't know how a Mod Organizer works or how you install it, you have to log in into the Skyrim Nexus, which you can find. I will put all the links. You go and link your account, create an account, and link your mod organizer, Vortex of your choice, and that's pretty much it. Once you're done, you can download mods, and here you can see the mods that we have, and here you can see the plugins. Mods and plugins are something different. All of those are mods that some way or the other broke my game, or they're not compatible with Anniversary Edition. Go to bed, it's a very cool mod that actually got updated a few weeks ago, but it breaks the game. File access interface for Anniversary Edition, sadly, even though it got an update, doesn't work. It's pretty much disaster. And here's pretty much all of my mods, which is around, I will show you later, it is a lot of mods. So plugins shows you what exactly is running in Skyrim. And some of those you have them disabled because you don't really need them. But if you want to learn how you can use Vortex or the basic mod organizer of your choice, go and watch some other video of someone much more intelligent, more funnier, and better at editing when it comes to explaining how to use a mod organizer. But I'm going to assume that either you know how to do it or you can pause the video, you can go watch some of that, and again, you don't really need so much info when it comes to using those. And if you come to mod Skyrim after a very long time ago and you don't know anything about it, or if you are new when it comes to modding Skyrim, I am going to give you a healthy advice of trying to mod Skyrim using Vortex or mod organizer, whatever you want to use, with the maximum amount of 100 mods. And again, we're speaking about Anniversary Edition here. But yeah, you get 100 mods, play around 100 hours, see what you want. You have to realize that when it comes to, let's go back to the picture, right? When it comes to this is the reality of the situation. When it comes to the paradise you want to make, let's say you want to turn this city picture into something like this with amazing quality. Oh my god, this quality is actually amazing. It's just like my videos. Let's say you want to create Turn Barons, the best game, the best place ever was. Pretty much paradise. There you go. You're just having a good time. You're ascending. You're above human beings. It's very important when it comes to modding, and I'm gonna give you some of my thoughts while I'm going through the tools, to realize what exactly you want to do with Skyrim. So you want to turn Skyrim into a very good RPG? Do you want to turn it into a sex dungeon? Or you want to turn it into a meme game with Thomas the Train Engine running around? I'm assuming you want to create the perfect game. The perfect RPG, that the combat feels like you're playing Elden Ring, the RPG elements feels like you're playing Zelda Breath of the Wild. That's the mod organizer of the choice. Let's go and speak about some of the tools we're going to use. Let's speak about loot. This is loot right here. Loot is a program, and don't get very confused with it. Let me make this better. There we go. That is so much better. There we go. Here, I'm giving you the looks. It's I want to make sure if you're watching or not. So I'm apologizing for me being very unprofessional when it comes to this. But this is loot. It pretty much connects through your mod manager of your choice. That is mod organizer, that is Vortex, that is a microwave. You somehow connected through China and you're modding your game. No matter what mod organizer of your choice you're using, loot is a program or a software which you download it, you install it, you run it, it auto-detects the game, or you choose the game you want to run. As you can see up on the left says Skyrim Special Edition, which counts as Anniversary Edition, so don't get confused. And what it does, it tracks how many plugins, and it divides them to light plugins and heavy plugins. Light plugins are pretty much ESLs, are plugins where we don't care too much about them. But when it comes to active or heavy plugins, 247 in my case, the problem with that is that Skyrim engine, when it comes to having above 255 heavy plugins, the game pretty much breaks, it's unstable. So this video is about setting Exodia, about acquiring the Holy Bible, about getting the Krusty Krab secret formula. This is about grabbing all of the best tools and combining them to make Skyrim to the perfect game. as you can see, it shows again all of those plugins and what it does. That's the most important thing. It has a sort plugins system, and it also shows you all of your plugins you have. So you can go and check those and pretty much change the direction and things like that. It creates and corrects the load order in your Skyrim. What is load order, you might ask? Let's say you add a texture mode into Skyrim, and now you pick another mode which also conflicts. You don't want to have one override the other and have conflicts. You want to have them sorted in a correct way where the game can load them and you cannot have issues. And you might say this is very simple to do, and you might be right, but when you're running, as you can see, 900 modes, this is getting kinda out of hand, so you have to be very careful. So look, if you click sort plugins here, it takes some time, and it's going to pretty much sort all of the plugins. And as you can see, I'm using Anniversary Edition. I'm gonna take a sip of my Pepsi here.
5 minutes later.
It sorted the plugins, as you can see, and it shows you only have one warning and 56 messages. So what it did, it pretty much picked all of my modes and put them in the correct order where my game is not going to crash, cause my PC to explode when I'm going to launch the game, which is a very healthy decision if I may say so. So this shows you all the messages. Here was one message. Are Skyrim children, which is a mod that pretty much enhances children to look much more high texture because the game is over 10 years old. This tells me that the mod that with the name Legacy of the Dragonborn is installed and actually use the Legacy of the Dragonborn official patches, which right now it doesn't work with Anniversary Edition, but again, you're gonna get all of those different messages for all of your mods that cause you problem. And if we go to one error I'm having, for instance, it comes down to the bug fixes for the Skyrim Special Edition. The mod author, when it comes to that, if I click this, it is actually going to take us into the page of the mod author and it's going to let us download the mod. The problem with that is that right now the bug fixes version of the mod, it doesn't work for Anniversary Edition. So I cannot really, sorry for that, and I cannot really go back and try to fix that right now. But the idea is that Loot tells you again all of the problems, it recommends you how to click and fix those kind of issues. When it comes to modding Skyrim, reading is going to be, as you have figured out already, it's going to be on your advantage if you actually know how to read. You are all set up for success, because you will go to those different descriptions of the mod pages for different mods you will be downloading and later on updating with loot, like this message right here, and you will be reading the description to see if they are compatible, what exactly they are doing, and things like that. So this pretty much covers loot. We talk about Vortex or the mod organizer, we talk about loot. Let's go to the next tool. Now the next tool, it's actually called ZEdit. And I'm going to open it right now and show it to you. And let's speak about ZEdit. This is ZEdit, and you might say, oh, what the fuck up, what is that? If you have checked loot, and you've seen me having over 900 mods, you might have asked yourself, Kavou, there is no way, and I'm gonna show you, right? There is no way you're having 247 plugins. There is no way, oops, sorry for that. Out of the 880 mods you have only those, and that's correct. That's because ZEdit, let me close that, helps us merge mods. Once you download ZEdit, you can select here and you go to the Z merge, Z like baguette. And here, as you can see, so all of the mods I've merged. So I have created patches. I've created big files pretty much for all of those different mods to pretty much count as a single plugin. So essentially, I'm having around 560 something heavy plugins, which the game can only take 255, right? That's its capacity. With ZEdit, you can actually merge files, and as you can see, I'm having quite a few of them, and pretty much create plugins that contain 5 and 10 of those. And I'm using, some different mods that don't impact too much of the game, texture mods, weapon mods. I like to put all of my armor mods, but when it comes to modding Skyrim, it's very important to understand that when you're using ZEdit, try to put the weapon mods together, try to put the armor mods together, try to put categories of the same things together, like extra content or quest areas and things like that, and try to create your perfect patch. There is something I actually forgot to talk about, and this is, let's go back to the beautiful image we have right here. Let me open it up. Let's actually add a new, because this is exactly how the video looks right now. Let's add one more tool we're going to talk about actually, and SSEEdit, aka AutoClean. And this is another one I'm going to talk about. Let's paint it purple because it's Purple is a fabulous color. What can I say? Let's speak about SSEEdit. This is another tool we're going to use actually that I forgot about. And this is, I'm gonna show you how it looks right now. This is exactly how SSEEdit looks when you start it up. It's a program, you download it, and again, all of those programs, you will be using them outside of Vortex. It's third programs that you're using that are getting connected. So you don't install that into Vortex or Mod Organizer. You just download it and it autocorrects, auto does the work for the files. And here we have that. So it shows you of the plugins you have right here. As you can see, there's DownGuard, there is Head Files, there is Dragon Ball DLC. There's pretty much everything else I'm running. What happens with that is when you run load is going to tell you that you have dirty plugins. It's going to detect, for instance, DownGuard, usually DownGuard update and Dragon Ball and Head Files, all of the DLCs pretty much, are having dirty files, dirty conflicts, or dirty plugins, not plugins, IDs into them. So you're going to run quick AutoClean, aka SSEEdit, and pretty much clean them off. Everything is very clean right now. It's like Mr. Clean arrived and pretty much cleaned everything. So you won't find anything dirty here, aside from maybe that dirty stair. That being said, what will happen is that load will tell you, let's say, update ESM, it's dirty. You click only on that. You press OK, and this is what happens. It auto-runs. Usually, it has thousands of IDs. We're speaking about thousands. You can see 3,000 IDs, 4,000 records. It's gonna go all the way up. Sometimes it might take you even 5 minutes. But what this amazing tool does, it helps you clean edits and it helps you clean IDs, because every time you download a mod, when it comes to having a smooth game without crashing and things like that, you're going to pretty much clean it up. Clean up those files, clean the dirty conflicts, clean those dirty IDs, because they're going to mess up your game. And when we're speaking about hundreds of mods, you're going to instantly get crashes like that.
5 minutes later.
Alright, there we go. It actually happened. The delivery happened. So this is what you're going to get. You're gonna get all of that. It's going to tell you how many dirty plugins or edits it kind of move away. And what you're going to do after this, literally, you just close it. And what you saw there, that time it took, it auto-saves it. So when this happens, you restart load again, or open load. And what happens is that once you run load and you click sort plugins, the plugin is not going to be dirty anymore. This is pretty much what SSEEdit or Quick Clean pretty much does to your Skyrim when it comes to modding. It's something that you will 100% use when it comes to modding, but it's something very important to have in mind when it comes to modding. Now the next one I'm going to talk about, and that's going to be very, very short because this video is taking a ridiculous amount of time to make, is, give me a second. So yeah, let's make it super short. I'm going to speed run those three next, and that's going to be pretty much for the video. First of all, we're having NetScript Latency Tester, and this is an amazing tool to use. When it comes to Anniversary Edition, Anniversary right now, it exists in a prehistoric state because we don't have HDD, we don't have the back engine fixes, we don't have Nemesis, we don't have many of the things. We don't have a first-person mode for, immersive first-person camera, job perspective, and things like that. So we don't have many plugins, which makes Anniversary Edition so much more easier and smoother when it comes to modding. What does NetScript Latency Tester does? It adds you a spelling game, and you might laugh at this, but this actually helped me or saved me thousands of hours. And only very few people actually know about this mod. And this is a mod, by the way. You actually put this inside the game through your mod organizer or mod manager, I'm always confusing those two. You're putting this inside your mod manager again by downloading the file. You go to files, you download this. It adds you a spell, as you can see here, with this name. And once you use and you run around, you click loading and notification. You run around and you see this number on the, let me actually open it up here. You see this number here, which shows you the MS and how many plugins per second you're getting. And why is this important? When it comes to me modding Skyrim, and I spent so many hours and even years of modding the game, is that my game was crashing because of my plugins. When it comes to plugins, I'm not going to be extremely detailed about this, but what this tool does, it shows you pretty much how many scripts per second you're running. If your game is having 60 with 80 scripts per second, it means you're running around at least 100 plus mods. And again, if you're having 80 ms per second or scripts per second, you're completely fine. If you're having 100 with 140, which is usually where my game is, you are still fine, but you don't need to go above 180. Once you go above 180 with 200 plus, your game crashes. The problem with Skyrim is that you're gonna have 3 types of crashes. The first crash is going to be because you're installing 4K mods, 4K graphic mods into your Lenovo Pixel laptop you bought from your neighbor 5 years ago that cannot even run Counter-Strike Go, which is how bad it is, and your game crashes because it cannot pretty much, load up the graphics. The second reason your game is going to crash is because you installed a mod that conflicts with another mod, aka having a load order problem, which is going to crash the game immediately. That happens if you mess up specific zones usually, and the game crashes like that. And the third reason why your mod is going to crash, and why you're going to have many crashes, why people are crashing 5 or 10 times every hour, is actually this. It's because they are not using the elephant script latency. It is actually the godsend when it comes to modding. It shows you how many scripts you are using, and you have to be very careful of how many managing modes you're going to put into the game. I don't have, believe it or not, that many managing modes. I'm having around 90 ms per second, and if I go to a very heavy area, I might get 100 with 130, 140 on max peak, which is a lot, but we're speaking about almost 1,000 mods in my case. Back when I was modding Skyrim Special Edition, when I was running 60 different animation mods with Nemesis, if you don't know what Nemesis is, that's better for you. I was running 100 and 200 animation mods, so many plugins all the time. I was having above 200 on average, so my game was crashing all the time. So again, this is going to help you save your game from scripts and show you exactly how to mod your game and how healthy the game is. The fifth one, is it the fifth or the sixth one? I'm actually not sure. We're having the NetScript Framework. This is a very important mod. Let me take that docs out of here. This is a mod that you install again inside, you put it inside the Vortex or Mod Organizer or inside your Chinese toaster machine you have. And what it does, it adds a file inside your Skyrim. Let me show you here. It also helps with modding. You're going to need this. It's like the holy grail for mods. It's gonna show you this right here, which is the mod essentially. You open this. You go to crashes. This is clean right now because I've cleaned it 2 days ago. It's going to show you a bunch of text right here with the name of crash. A bunch of logs. And once you click those logs, for instance, it's going to pretty much tell you which mods are actually conflicting with your game files. It's going to pretty much show you inside that folder I just showed you how to find it once you install it. The crash text logs, which once you open them, is going to tell you this specific mod and that specific mod were the reason your game crashed right now. You go back, you read those mods, in the modder page you see what's wrong with them. Maybe it's not compatible with your game, maybe you are missing few updates, maybe they are conflicting with something else you're having, and in the worst case scenario you remove them. You try again and boom, your Skyrim is not crashing anymore. So again, it's a semi-tool, it's very important. Again, those are the things I'm using most of my time. And let's move to the last one, which should be, oh yeah, right, I forgot. Last one is going to be, I'm always having a hard time pronouncing that, BethINI files. And what exactly is this crap, you might say, Kavou? What is all this crap? Let me show you. This is like load, like ZEdit and all those kind of mods I showed you. You download this crap, and I'm gonna show you exactly how you use it and what it does. This is extremely important to make your Skyrim very, 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 what is it called? Stable and smooth. No crashes, no buenos, nothing but like this. So you're going to extract this crap right here. Okay, there we go. Finally, I fucking found it. I'm actually retarded. I'm sorry for that. I cannot really help it. It is what it is. It's a natural selection at this point. So you have BethUI here. You're going to open it up once you extracted this, and you're going to click to the BethINI exe. And this is what it's going to show you right here. If I can move that crap here. Let me close that. And what exactly is happening right here? I'm not going to touch anything right now. I'm not going to do anything because I have the perfect settings right now for my game. There we go. That's better. So much professional, Kavou. That's why we'll watch your videos. No, you're not. Let's be real for a moment. So you have that here, and your Skyrim game has something called ini files. Ini files they're the bread and butter of your game. For instance, if you want to change, let's say, the variety of how much grass you see in game or how dense the shadows are, you go and tweak the ini file. If you want to, let's say, make it where there is more sharpening or less sharpening or no other water, grass and things like that, or if you want to play Skyrim wallpaper mode, or if you want to skip the Bethesda intro, if you want to do any sort of tweaks like that, which you can imagine there's thousands of those lines, it opens this and it immediately connects with your INI files. If you're having a very heavy good system, like I'm having an RTX 360 with 32 gigabytes of RAM, and which means I can run Skyrim on Ultra. I was playing Skyrim before with my Lenovo City laptop, so I was running with poor quality, and I also had at a point an NVIDIA 1050 graphics card, and I was running it on medium. You have to find out what you are using. If you are using an NVIDIA 1050, 1060 or whatever, you go with medium. If you are going with something more than that, you go to Ultra because it's fucking amazing, let's be real. You're going to press medium, it's going to automatically correct things, and then you're going to put recommend tweaks. So right now, everything the game did, if you go to setup, right, it saves all of those INI files inside your game. So it pretty much makes the game, this is going to save you dozens of FPS. This is going to make the game smooth, and it's going to help you with crashes, with plugins, and even take your engine to the next level, even if you have a bad one or a good one. And here you can pretty much change the settings. If you are using an ENB, usually you're pressing none to anti-aliasing, as we're gonna go that to maybe a different video. You're fixing some of that. There is some options, like for instance, some of the options I like with gameplay, right? You can say that NPC use ammo, which is disabled by your INI files. You pretty much press save and exit, which I'm not going to do right now because I'm running very good ones. If you are not going to save and exit, your game is gonna stay the same. So again, you have to pick those up, save and exit, and test how the game looks. And this is pretty much what BethINI does. That was pretty much this very boring video that you watched with me. I was your host, Kavou, and if you made it to the end of the video, let me know that you like those kind of videos, so I can actually improve and do better and make even more important, more of those, by clicking the like button, by commenting anything you want to boost the algorithm. It can be anything, and also leaving a like. Thank you for watching, stay awesome, that was me, and next time, stay out of trouble, and peace.